Okay, I think we are live. Yeah, just checking, doing final checkup. Okay, hold on, please. Let me reduce my notification. Uh, okay, yeah, we are live. Okay, guys, thank you. Welcome, welcome. So nice being on your screen at this moment. My name is Billy Stanley, lead faculty of Brand Varsity. Um, Recently, or for a while now, I've been running a our our episode called Designers Conversation on our WhatsApp group and also our Telegram group. Actually, we started from WhatsApp. Then, when we saw the number of people that were being added to the group, we decided to move to Telegram early this year. And I think early, either in January or February, we migrated to Telegram. So we'll be having our designers conversation on our online Telegram platform, and it has been awesome. It has been a wonderful experience. um, Guys who have joined our community have sent me information, messages, how the designers conversation we've been having have impacted their design skills. And for me, that is a big, is a massive, is a massive testimony, I must say. So due to the due to the interest, I decided to start designers conversation live on Facebook in our Brandvarsity Facebook group, as you all can see. So from now on, every Tuesday by this time, probably we might have to do a little adjustment of the time, but we'll be having this conversation here live on this group in this particular manner. So basically, for me, is to enable us have that interaction. I would like personal conversation. So it's awesome for me. I really don't know how to express myself. I really don't know how to express myself. Sorry about that. My my tripod just let me quickly make the adjustments. Okay. Yep. Okay, I think this will be good. This will be okay. Whoa, man. Yeah, so we're live. Okay, quickly, I will be addressing some issues basically as regards our creative journey as individuals. Maybe you are a startup designer, or you have been in the business for a very long time, and it's just basically to share thoughts and ideas about our daily experience. Our daily experience. One of the things I always emphasize on is the fact that everything we discuss about on designers conversion, they are 100% practical experience. And I believe at the end of this particular episode, a lot of us will gain value, because that's the whole essence. And for those of you that will be watching this particular broadcast again, that will be watching it again, please drop your comments, share your thoughts, and from next week we'll be having series of guests that will be coming in, that will be sharing their thoughts and just their experience as creatives. So that's all about that for my intro. And another interesting thing, we are preparing for our first African Creative Designers Conference coming up in August. In fact, that for me is a massive one. More information will be shared across on all our platforms, so just keep tab. I promise you, this conference is one of a kind. We saw the need for extending our reach to other creatives across the African continent, not only not only um, within our space, which is Nigeria. So we're having this conference. This should be the first conference that will be involving as in spreading across, and we hope to maintain the fire in the long run. So um in fact, pardon me, this is the first time I'll be coming live, especially on the screen here. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm just trying to clear off all my shyness. Um, so that's just a brief about the conference. So let's go to the business of today. The business of today. Um, today I'll be talking about pricing. Yes, pricing. How creatives charge. One of the major challenge design faced. Sorry, one of the major challenge creatives I've always had is the issue of price. How do creatives charge for their work? It has been a major question most designers have been asking. How do they charge for flyers? How do they charge for logos, especially? How do they charge for designs? How do they charge? So it's I don't know how to emphasize it, but that price is a major determinant to keep you running or flowing or continuing the journey as a creative designer, whichever field you are, whether you are an architect, an artisans in general. Pricing is a fundamental key to sustain your business, either as a freelancer or you're running an enterprise. It is the fuel that keeps the engine running as a creative. So our focus is on our constituency, which is creative designers. So the big question is, how do I charge for designs? How do I charge for designs? Interestingly, when I started creating my designs, when I started designing, I think I started in 2010. Then all through 2010 down to 12, it was more like a learning process for me. But I started as a free, do designs for free. But the reason why I do designs for free back then was because I actually didn't see design as a tool for earning, because I started as a printer or a print consultant. Maybe I just say contractor, if I will use that word, because I get the design jobs, I look for a designer, I give them the design to do, and I take the design for printing. So most of the time, I gain most of my experience from printing. So it was because of the difficulty of creative designers or the designers I contract to do my designs. They find it difficult to create my concepts. Whenever a client gives me a job or they want to do a flyer, back then I was still in school, so most of the jobs I get from them were from school-based clients, colleagues and students alike, that are doing one or two business or political posters during the campaign period in school. So what I do, I get the job, I take it to a designer, I explain to them what I want, and they create the design. Then I take the design to the press and they print. I deliver the job, I make my money. But when I realize that they find it difficult sometimes to express my thoughts, I was compelled to learn it on my own. So I started my design journey. Then in the process, because I did not really have in understanding that design is a career, it's a journey on its own, is a big deal. So I never placed importance in price. So when I started fully, when I mean fully, as in after my school in 2010, I was privileged to work in an organization, so I was working as a designer. It was more like a learning process for me. So all that period I was doing design, I wasn't charging. Even when I was doing design for clients that liked the work I do for the working for, and I do their designs, but on a one condition: I have to do the printing, because that's where I make my money. But over time, when the print jobs weren't coming, and people were always asking for designs, it dawned on me that I can still be making money from designs. So that was when I started placing my fee. I started with, I think it was 1,000 naira. Started with 1,000 naira, charging for fly any design 1,000 naira. In fact, if you doesn't have a logo, I'll even create your logo for you, 1,000 naira. Both flyer and design 1,000 naira, and I was doing it like that. I was single, I wasn't married, no serious response. And then I was also living with somebody, squatting with somebody, so my expenses were less. So I really did not, the impact, I wasn't feeling the impact or the need to place price on my designs. Then in 2013, so I did that for within 2010 and 2013. In 2013, where the need came for me to get my own, be an independent person, I was looking for house rent. I was looking for house rent. There was no house rent for me to. I didn't have enough cash because then I didn't get enough print job. I didn't get enough print job to pay for some of my works or the expenses that I have. I didn't get enough. So basically, then I was so much depending on printing, the money I'm going to make from printing to offset or pay for the rent. But unfortunately, I wasn't getting it. The jobs weren't coming, but design jobs were coming. So what would I do? It now dawned on me that one of the reasons why I wasn't charging for design was because I really do not have enough responsibility then. I really do not have enough responsibility on my shoulder then. So I didn't feel the impact. But when the responsibility came, I now realized that I need to look for other alternatives apart from printing. And the closest alternative I had then was my design. So I consulted some of my senior colleagues who I look up to. I asked them, how do you charge for designs? As a learner, because then I was still learning. I wasn't confident in the kind of designs I was doing. So I asked, how do you charge for your designs? And they told me, especially there was a particular my employer back then invited a creative from Lagos, and I asked him that question, and he said he charged 5,000 naira. Then, about 7 years ago, 5,000 naira for a design. Is it 8 years ago? About 5,000 naira for a flyer design. What about logo? I made all those inquiries then. I now made up my mind to start placing price. The least I would do for a logo was 5,000 naira. Flyer, I gave it that shot because 5,000 naira for me then was big. If I charge 5,000 naira, who is going to pay 5,000 naira for a design? It was a big issue. So I took that bold step and I started charging 5,000 naira for every of my designs. From that moment, I started losing those free customers, those who I do designs for free. So when they come to me and they ask me, Believe, can you please help me do a particular design, want to print? I say, okay, this is how much you are going to pay for printing. This is the cost of printing. But for the design, this is how much I'm going to charge. They are two different things. So I have to separate my print cost from my design cost. I have to separate my print cost from my design cost. Because I wasn't confident enough, the least I was charging then for every design was 2,000 naira, maybe flyers to start with, 2,000 naira. And from then, the price started increasing because the more confident you are, the more you increase your price, in the sense that when you see that you are increasing in expertise, you are getting recommendations for your design more. Your work is good, and there's need for you to upgrade your price. If you are charging less, for example, you can start with 1,000 naira. You started with 1,000 naira for design, and you are getting clients on a regular basis. And people appreciate your work. The fact that they appreciate your work means you are good. Your job is, you are delivering value. And for the fact that you are delivering value means you need to earn in the same proportion of the value you are delivering. Now, there are different factors that contribute to your pricing as a creative, either in printing or in design. There are different factors. Now, when I was looking for my apartment, I was looking for money to pay for my rent or to get my own apartment. The cost was about the cost was about 100. I think the house rent was about 120,000 naira, just a self-contained 120. So I needed 120,000 naira to pay for that apartment, and I have a short period of time. So what I did was to contact one of my clients that I do most of their printing jobs for. I just contacted them, I signed a contract with them. There's a particular job we do on a weekly basis for them. I do a print job on a weekly basis for them. So I told them they can pay me upfront. They can pay me upfront, maybe payment for 1 year. Then every week they'll be removing a certain percentage from the money they are paying for the job. They'll be removing a certain percentage from that particular money they are paying. So it's just like collect a loan from them, then removing it from the money they are paying for the job. So that was how I was able to settle that. But now, for a startup, for a young creative who is just coming up, who is just learning the process, how do you charge for a design? What are the basic factors that you need to consider when you are charging? The number one factor to consider is your skill set, your skill level, your skill. Remember, I shared that when I started, I wasn't charging for design. I wasn't charging for design. It was basically free of charge. My designs were basically free of charge. Basically. But when I started getting recommendation, when I started getting appreciation for the designs I was doing, then I knew that my value needs to increase. I knew that my value needs to increase. So I made up my mind to start charging. I increased from 0 to 1,000 list. Then from 1,000, I moved from 1,000 charging to 2,000. Then it got to a point where, because I knew at least I am good, I can present my design in any platform and I'll still be proud of my work, I started charging 5,000 naira for the least flyer possible. So your skill set will also determine how much you will charge. Now there's a clause around this. There's a clause around this. Give me just 30 seconds. Let me just fix something. My system is disconnected. So just give me less than 30 seconds. Let me just connect the power cord back. 30 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so there's another angle to the part of skill set. Now, this is the angle. If you know you that you don't have that required level of expertise when it comes to design, one of the things you can do is to leverage on other pros, leverage on other professional designers, those who you look up to, those you have good relationship with. You leverage on their expertise. Now, this is how it works. There was a particular time I have a logo design to do, and I wasn't too good at creating logos. Logo design is not my specialty. I'm still building on my logo design skill. So I had to contact a friend of mine and ask him how much he charges for logos, and he told me his price. When he told me his price, I was like, wow, that's interesting. So what I did was I used his price to determine how much I'm going to charge the client. So when I got his price, I billed the client, adding my own interest, adding my own profit to it. So when I got the job from the client, I paid him his money, he did the design, I made my profit, the client is satisfied, I am satisfied, he is also satisfied. So it's a win-win situation. So in this particular case, if you there are some jobs you will get that will require some higher level of expertise and skill. So if you know you don't have that capacity yet, you can leverage on other creative designers to leverage on their own skill, leverage on their own skill to build your clients. So first, in doing that, you need to understand how much that person is charging, so that you know how much you bill the prospective clients. Then the other aspect or the other factor that will determine your price is your tool of productivity, your tools. Yes, your tools. Your tools. Like I said earlier on, responsibility. When you have some level of responsibility, it will shape in your mind in terms of how much you'll be charging. It's very important you know this. Your tool of effectiveness, your tools, what kind of system are you using? What kind of tools are you using? How much is the cost of that particular tool? How much? Using of what 250k, and you are paying rent or space worth 500,000 naira per annum. Your rent 500,000 naira per annum. Maybe your workstation, your office space 500k per annum. Or even for freelancers that are staying in their own self-contained, at least you are paying rent. Now that particular space you are using to work, to create that logo or to create that design, is part of your expenses, it's part of your tools, it's part of your tool of productivity. So you need to put that into consideration. This is how I've been able to fashion or create a concept around that calculation. I calculate how much is the cost of my system, is the cost of the system, break it down into 12 months. So every month, how much, if my system is worth 250,000 naira, I break that 250,000 naira into 12. How much is it going to be per month? How much is going to be per month? And also the same thing with the rent, and put all the other logistics together, then break them, pieces them into monthly targets. Now I also bill some clients based on the targets I have for that month, So depending on the kind of jobs that comes in a month, if I have like maybe a target of 500,000 naira, or let's say $2,000, I split everything. How many jobs do I need to make, and how many jobs am I going to get to make that particular amount of money to meet up that target? The number of jobs I'm going to do, how much I'm going to charge for a particular job that I'm going to do to meet up with that target. So having this in mind, it helps me put my price mark. So if I'm aiming at making 1.2 or 1.5 million naira in a month, and to make that 1.5 million naira, I need to just say break it into 150 clients. 150 clients in a month, that will be about check. Okay, I said I have 150 clients, 1.5 million. How to make, if I'm to make 1.5 million naira in a month, how much do I need to make for a client to hit up that target? How many clients do I need to make that money from? Let me just say I'm targeting like 150 clients. So that is to say, if I'm to charge a client 10,000 naira for a design, I need to target 150 clients to meet up my target. And that's the least. So the least I must do is 10,000 naira for a job. That's design, 10,000 naira. So who my designs. That's another set of discussion. So I'm just trying to discuss about in terms of arranging your price. So you must, one of the things that will help you in your pricing is to know how much you have targeted to meet in that particular month or that particular week, or how much you intend to make that day. So that also will help you think on how you are going to charge your clients. Now there are different clients. There are high paying clients, there are average, and there are low paying clients. I don't want to talk about the free clients. Free clients, they are not clients at all. They are just beneficiaries of your benevolence. So if you have, of course, there are some clients that will come. Maybe I'm targeting 1.5 million naira or $2,000. There are some clients that will come that have the capacity to pay that money at once. Yes, there are clients like that. Because there was a particular time I was recommended to run to help a client create their visual communication designs, everything, their brand communication designs, everything. And when I got to the office, I didn't know the profile of the client. I just have an idea of who the client was. When I got to the client's office, when I saw the words of the client, my mindset changed immediately. I said, this one, I can't be charging 50,000 naira for logo for this client. It's not possible, because it will look like an insult. So my bargain power, my bargaining started from 150k for just the logo alone. 150k. So we negotiated and we landed at 100 to create that part, just the logo alone. Listen, the logo, every other design has their own different costs. So at the end of the day, we created the logo and we started with other communication. I think that job, I got about close to 750k from that particular job, putting up all the materials together, designs, flyer, brochures, everything put up together. But the most important thing was that logo, because once we settled the logo, every other thing followed. So part of what also shape your decision or your pricing is you know the profile of your clients. First, I said your expertise. The next one, your skill set, your tool of engagement or your tool of effectiveness. Know the cost of the things that you need. Assuming you don't have a laptop and you need to rent a laptop, how much is the person going to pay, or how much are you going to pay to rent the laptop that you use to create your design? I've done that before. The first time when I started, I didn't have a laptop, so I was getting one friend's laptop to another friend's laptop. All my works were saved, scattered everywhere. So, and when I use their laptop, I pay them for it, for the time that they give me their laptop to use. So that also was factored into how much I'm going to charge for that client, because I cannot be charging my regular price and I now pay the person that I'm using their tool and I'll run at a loss. So also have that in mind. Whatever you are doing, have your tool of effectiveness, your cost of input, your cost of production. By that I mean all the things that you need to make sure that design was successful. What I didn't mention was part of your cost include your internet. If you want to do research, your research also, you need data to conduct your research. If a client is giving you a design to do their logo, you go online, make research about that particular industry, and then create concept around it, build ideas, create a storyline around that based on the brief that the client has given. So all those also cost money. They are not free. So you factor those costs in your pricing, in your price. You factor it. Then also, assuming you are paying for those services, if you are, take for example, you are consuming like 2 gig data just to get that particular logo delivered. Listen to this, delivered. And you have a time frame, maybe 1 week, and within that 1 week you have do all your necessary costing. Within that 1 week, how much is it going to cost you? What are the things that you are going to put together? The environment you need, the kind of environment you need to create that design. The kind of environment you need to create that design is very important. Those are also part of your cost factor. So you factor all those costs, then you bill the client. In terms of this environment, let me share a story for you. A story. There was a particular time, I think around 2013 or 14, I can't really remember. A client gave me a job to do, to create a flyer. It's a new product, fruit-based product. So I was given the brief to create the logo and other communication material because a new business. So where I was staying in more like a village setting. When I say village, the outskirts in Abuja, they have other communities like. So I was staying in one of the communities. The noise, the area was so demoralizing. So I knew I wasn't going to get inspiration from that space. So I went out. I took my system, took my bag. I just went out. I went to Transcorp Hilton. To relax. I didn't pay. I didn't lodge in I didn't lodge in any of the room. I just went to their piano lounge at the basement of the hotel. So I spent my time there. I just needed that environment to make me think differently. I needed that environment to make me think differently, see differently, reason in a different dimension beyond my primary space. Now, this is the interesting part for me. What I spent there, I bought some drinks, a bottle of, I think a cup of soda for 1,000 naira. A cup of soda for 1,000 naira. That's, I think, 7 Up or thereabouts. For 1,000 naira with a small cup of granite or peanuts for 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira for one bottle of 7 Up. It was interesting. Then I didn't even have enough cash, but I just needed that environment. Now this is the interesting thing. Even though I was spending that much to buy just one bottle of soft drink, I could not, on a normal day, I will not pay for that. I will not pay for that regular. Yes, even 257, I won't pay. But I was here am I paying 1,000 naira just because of the environment. I needed that environment to think straight. After that day, after I spent that time, took the drink, the AC blew, the environment, the music, there was a particular pianist that was playing the organ and the music was so awesome, so my brain was thinking faster. I finished that design, I sent it to the client. When the client saw that design, she was wowed, and that was my best design that time. She was marveled, she was dazed. When she now asked me how much is her bill, I just told her she paid because the job was awesome for her. After that day, if I have a serious job, I go spend the night in Transcorp. I'll go to Transcorp Hilton to spend the night at the piano lounge. I'll just order for drinks, coffee, just order for things. I won't spend more than 3,000 naira or maximum 2,000 naira. I spent 2,000 naira. Just take a cup of coffee with a burger or mince pie or something else that just to be chewing. My table will just be full with cups because they will have some small interesting things. So I just put it as if I'm one of their expatriates or a guest lodged in the hotel. So I go there with my system, pay maybe like 1,500 or 2,000 naira to place my order, and I stay all the night in Transcorp. I won't sleep. I will do all night working because that job, I need to deliver that job, and I need to think smart. I need to be at my optimum thinking capacity to deliver that job. And all the results I've gotten within that space, those periods were awesome. And the clients pay. I put the bill in my invoice. I won't tell the client this is how much I spent in doing this design, but I factor that particular cost of creating that atmosphere in my cost, in my price, and I bill the client that way. So there are different things that you factor. Like I said, your level of expertise. If you are still coming up, you are not confident about yourself, liaise or partner or collaborate with any other creative that you look up to give you the kind of design you want. Then also I talked about your tools, the kind of environment, all the things that you put in place to create that particular design. Put that in mind also. Then the client that you are servicing, you cannot be charging a client like $10. Cannot be charging a client like $10, 10,000 naira for a design. So also understand the clients that you are serving. There are some clients that cannot pay you 5,000 naira. There are some clients that it will be an insult for them to pay you 50,000 naira for their designs. Understand the clients that you are serving. Understand them. So I believe this particular few tips I don't know if it has really helped anybody. If it has helped you, kindly drop your comments, and if there's any question you want to ask, please drop in the comment section, or you can send me a private message or drop a comment in our Telegram or WhatsApp group. If you are in the Telegram or WhatsApp group, if you are not, please send a message. We'll drop the link in the Telegram group and we'll get back to you. Your questions, I will be treating questions that will be coming in during the week until our next episode of Designers Conversation. So till I come your way again, it's been an awesome time. Like I said earlier on, the African Creative Designers Conference 2020 is coming up in August. The materials, we are confirming all the guests that will be speaking during the conference. So once it comes up, we'll be pushing out all the information. So everybody, if you're creative, if you have friends that you know that needs to be part of this particular community, please kindly send them the link or request for the link. We'll be sharing the link of this particular group so that they can join us. After this video, just at the comment section, you will get the link to our Telegram and our Telegram group, mostly because the WhatsApp groups are already filled up. So you'll be getting the links to our Telegram group and updates about the conference. So till I come your way again, my name is Believe Stanley, and like I always said, you can never have a better yesterday. Thank you.